What is up, guys? So today is the day. Motor is actually coming out. Dropping the oil out of the trans right now, and we got the tractor pulling the motor out. Basically been working on it all day, and when the motor starts really lifting out, I'm going to continue videoing. That'll be momentarily. And there it is, lifting up. There's all the crap that's all stripped out right now. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen, motor's out. My dad did most of the work, so that's good. It's out now. And the driveway is completely screwed. So, oh well, need to fix it anyway. As you just saw, the motor came out, and here it is now sitting in the garage, ready to be torn apart and rebuilt. I'm really excited about this. You know, I was getting pretty discouraged. I didn't think I'd actually end up finishing this. I was toying with the idea of junking it, but I'm glad that I did not follow through with that. And this motor, from the outside, is in pretty good shape. My only concern is about the rotors and the housings and how they're going to be on the inside. And other than that, I think it'll be all good. As far as taking the motor out, there were a couple of hiccups, but nothing too serious. As you can see, it's kind of messy, so I'm going to get this cleaned up before the motor goes back in. The AC will not be going back in with the motor. It was too much of a headache trying to take it out, so it's just going to stay out. It'll clean up the firewall a little bit. This thing wasn't too bad to take off, but a few of those smaller parts of that compressor were really annoying. As far as the technicalities, there was the compressor, and then I had to cut a few wires on that were connected to the transmission because I didn't want to have to take the whole harness on this side off just to get the motor out. So I figured, whatever, I'll just trim a couple wires, label them, and I'll solder them or crimp them back together when the motor goes back in. Yeah. I'm just really happy to have it out now, because now videos will be more interesting and I'll feel more accomplished coming out here. I won't have to be lying on my back under the car getting grit in my face. This got kind of messed up taking the engine out because we had to lower it at one point, so you can see the smash marks right there. I pulled this back up. It's not too heavy grade metal, so I was able to pull it up in my hands, so it's basically straight. And I honestly can't thank you guys enough, those of you that answered all my questions and explained how you did it. Rx7 Club, just huge helps with taking things apart, little hacks to make things easier, such as pulling the harness from the ECU instead of taking the motor apart in the bay. That was a huge help. Ways of taking the exhaust apart, and mine was C's, like the bolts and stuff, they're kind of a mess, which is why most of the exhaust is still on there. The rest of it is hanging out back. But there it is. And you don't need a cherry picker to take a motor out. If you have a tractor that's like kind of mid-range, you can probably do it with that. And one thing that's kind of funny is I ended up mangling the panels underneath. You can see it down there, where you can see the tip of the drive shaft kind of towards the right side of the screen. That used to be up, but it got bent. I didn't take it off, so the drive shaft ended up just landing on that. But in a way, it did work out because it's not dragging on the ground when we push the car around. And I know I keep showing the same few things, but it's just I'm really excited to see it. This is the first time I've pulled a motor. My first real project. Like, this was the first car I got as a plan to be a project, but everything was fine on it. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But yeah, as far as mods go, if you know of a shop in the Northeast United States, like Rhode Island, Mass, Connecticut, that does work with rotaries, such as like porting, leave it in the description with a link to their page or Instagram or Facebook or something. And yeah, the plan is to have it ported. Nothing too fancy, just a little bit more breathing room, header. And I am doing a custom exhaust if everything works out. If you go on my Instagram, and I'll leave the link in the description to that, I have a picture of a Photoshop of how I'm gonna do my exhaust, and I think it looks good. The response I got to it was more than I expected. Everyone seems to think it's pretty neat. But there it is. And also, comment the color I should wrap this car. I have a couple in mind, and if someone comments the right color, then great. If they don't, it's gonna be a surprise. But the next few videos are going to focus on this beast right here and tearing it apart so that I can get it on the mount and start rebuilding. Take it easy, guys. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe.